Okay, beautiful day in Screaming Dayz server. So this is a moustache house. 2 eyes, a mouth, and a moustache. So it's the little green triangular building that you'll see all over the map. It's in every single town, standard sort of house. But most people call it the Moustache House. So what we want to do when we build is we want to actually build to look like we're not in the house as best we can. Now obviously when you're covering up windows and stuff, people, if they look closely, they'll be able to see. But what we don't want to do is really build in the front here where people can see. We want to be able to shut these front doors so they can't see. So let's take a kit out. Now these kits at the moment, they build out thicker as you go deeper. So when you place the kit to start with, you've got to actually take into account that it could be thicker. Now the front of it here has no beam on the inside, like going vertically, and the back of it has a beam on the back. You can see that beam going from top to bottom, or bottom to top. So the front, no beam, the back has the beam. So we want to push into the wall and then we want to pull it back. Now I would just pull it back a little bit further than you think, just so when you build out, if you're going to build to stone, then it's going to have space. So I've just pulled it back off the edge there a little bit. Now no one can get through there, so even if you only build it to wood. Now I'm using an admin hammer to build. So a good thing to do before you start building is just to check that nothing's showing through. And at this point there's nothing because it's so far back. So let's build this door frame. And now we've got, always read your prompts properly because sometimes they come in different orders. So the next part is build the door. Ooh, build a door, that's a good idea. Now the next part is to build to tier 2. Now we'll just come back to that in a minute. So let's just shut that door and then we'll shut these outside doors. So you can see it's just a little bit off the side there, and that's allowing for it to get a bit thicker when we actually continue going. Just going to toggle. Okay, so let's just check this. So if you're running past this on the street, it just looks like a normal house. Okay, so now they're going to see a door there. Oh, this is someone's space. Right. So let's upgrade this now. Now to upgrade to tier 2, since I'm using an admin hammer, it does it without asking for the materials. But in your case, if you try to do it, you won't see the prompt because you don't have the materials in it. But you need to put 4 sheets of metal. If you haven't seen that video, go to our building moustache base video, and that shows you step by step how to actually build each particular part. Okay, so presuming I've put 4 pieces of steel in, now that upgrades the outside to steel. And if I want to do the door to steel, I just click through, build tier 2 door reinforcements, hold that down, and now if I open that, we have a tier 2 door. So tier 1 is wood, that's 20 minutes to use a sledgehammer to knock the door down. Tier 2 is steel, that's 40 minutes to knock the door down. And as you can see, you can't see that door from the road. And then tier 3, let's build tier 3. That's tier 3 and the wall. And now you'll see when we look here, it's actually flushed out. So it's come close to the wall. Okay, but it's not sticking through the wall. We don't want it to actually show through that doorway from the road. So for anyone running past, this doesn't look like there's a base in it, but there is. So now we would stick a code lock on that, and that would lock the actual door, obviously. Again, see the other video for how to do that. Alright, so we've got our first door up. We've made it into tier 3, so if anyone's going to come through that door, it's going to take them an hour. So some people can get through the windows. The more experienced you are in the game, there are certain tricks you can use. It's hard to police against this. It's very hard for me to check the logs every day and see who did it. So it's better for you to build against it. So in that particular case, you take a wall and you position your wall over the windows. So now you can almost do 2 windows with this one wall, but I'm gonna, let's just see if I can pull that off. That's pretty good. So that's now a 20-minute sledge to get through that window, and it makes it pretty hard for them to do because they've actually got to get through the window as well. So, but on this lower floor, I would definitely be taking these up to at least tier 2. So I'd be putting my 4 pieces of steel in them. Now sometimes you're going to have trouble getting your prompts for things to come in. So I've pushed my prompt. So you can use B. You push B, and B is manual placing. So there's no locking at all happening with B. And so you can just move it around quite freely. It's not perfect, but it can be really good. Okay, so I'm going to make this one steel as well. So let's build this one. And we add our 4 sheets of steel to that and build that up. Now, the reason we want to make them steel, I can hear zombies outside, don't really want to aggro zombies. The reason we want to make them steel is that is not very obvious when you're running past. So, whereas if we upgrade to stone, it's going to be very obvious. So you've got to balance in your own calculations. You've got to balance, do I want more than a 40-minute sledge there or not? So obviously you can put a doorway here, presuming that they do try to get through these. They get into this room. You've got to work out where you want your stash to be. Now, this is a annoying bag. It calls all the zombies, which is great. Halloween bag. But it does hold a lot of things. So we've got our front door. Now, if you're going to keep stuff in here, you're going to have to decide how much you want to reinforce that wall. Obviously, with this particular house, the best room to keep something in is up here, or this one here. And so you're going to have to cover these walls across here. So let's just throw some walls up. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. You could put a wall across here and another wall across here, presuming people are going to come through that thing. It's up to you. This is all up to your calculations on what you decide is the best way to actually defend. So the free placing is pretty good. Now let's come back to a door. I would put a door down the bottom here. And you can do that a couple of ways, but I would probably do it like this. So into that wall like that. So make sure you come through to what you want to do. So I want to do my tier 2 door reinforcements. And my tier 2 wall reinforcements. Alright. And so there's my second door. So now they get through this one, which is an hour. Then they're going to be met with this one here, which is going to be 40 minutes. And then when they get to the top of this staircase, I want to give them another door to get through. Okay, so we want to place this doorway at the top of the stairs. So we're going to angle it rather than put it straight across. If we put it straight across, it's going to stick through either this wall here and be in the way into this room, or it's going to go out into the outside of the building where people can see it. So we don't want either of those. So what we want to do is come back, and it doesn't matter if it sticks into this room a little bit. That's not going to stop us getting into that room. But we can line it up with this quite nicely like that. And we might actually just bring that round. Like that. Alright. So there's our door frame. Build our door. Tier 2 reinforcements. And tier 2 door reinforcements. Now, since we're up at the top level of my base, this is where I might start saying, okay, well, where am I going to put my actual loot? Like if I've got some good guns, where do I want to put them? So I might, whichever room I choose, I might choose this room and put 2 more walls here, and then make this little room here where I actually put my loot, because then I can put another door across here. So I can do this. So I'm on the outside, so I don't want the beams facing me, I want the beams facing inside. Now the trouble with what I'm doing here, I've got to make sure it actually might be easy to do it from the inside. So that way I get more protection. So just make sure we can actually get out. We can. That's all good. Alright, and that is how you build a little quick base out of another building. So just make sure you cover your windows, make sure you think about how people are going to come through and try and get in, and make your secure room where you want to keep your big guns and your expensive things, hard things that you found, make sure they're secure. Now one of the rules with these buildings in Dayz is that you really can't, most people can't get through roofs or solid walls. So it's only the windows that you've got to worry about and the doorways. So that's it. That's how you build a little Moustache base. As I said, it's got 5 doors, and it's pretty simple. It's fairly cheap to build, and there's a lot of these around, so they're a nice little house to build in for 1 or 2 people. I've had 5 people in one of these, a little team, but after that it starts getting a bit squishy. So good luck and enjoy building.
Tired of all these things, scared